Dear students, next topic is X-ray spectra. Before studying X-ray spectra, first of all, how the X-ray are producing, just remember, when the fast moving electrons strike the metal target, they losing the kinetic energy, that time the X-rays are producing. So take X-ray spectra, that is releasing the light ray, that only photon like X-ray. So just search that X-ray spectra. So the intensity of X-rays when plotted against the wavelength curve, so the graph is plotted between the intensity, that is relative intensity, and wavelength. So the graph is plotted between the wavelength and intensity. This curve is known as X-ray spectra. See, total two types of X-ray spectra are have. One is a continuous spectra, another one is a peak superimposing spectra, that is a characteristic spectra. I will discuss about later. So first of all, what is continuous spectra? First of all, continuous spectra, see, this is a one cold tube, apply 50 kilovolt, that is 50,000 volt. That time, that is the potential difference between the filament and, that is cathode and anode, apply 50 kilovolt. That time the electrons are accelerated, and after the hit to the target, they losing the kinetic energy. That time the energy is releasing, that only what X-rays are producing. So this 50 kilovolt, the spectrum is like that. This is a 50 kilovolt. See, listen very carefully. This 50 kilovolt, it has all range of frequency. In your book having this continuous spectrum consists of the radiation of all possible wavelength with the certain minimum wavelength lambda. That is lambda 0 means like a starting cutoff range, that is starting, that is lambda 0. So it is available in all range of frequency when the voltage is crossing 50 kilovolt. Suppose we apply to 40 kilovolt means, that is 40,000 volt means like that. This is continuously. See, there is no peaks are there. Continuously. Suppose 20 means. Suppose 10 means, and so on. It's not only like that. There is a 40 means like that. 40 kilovolt means, this is like a 30 kilovolt means, this is a 20 kilovolt means, like that. So this continuous spectrum consists of a radiation of all possible wavelength with a certain minimum wavelength lambda 0, which depends on the voltage across the two electrodes, that is cathode and anode. See, it is a very important. It has all range of frequency, that is, see, there is no peaks are there, that is a continuously gives the spectra. Characteristic spectra, that is a series of peaks superimposing on it. So we are using in the target, replacing the different types of target. It is made up of, there is a copper, the piece of copper wire, it is a suppose tungsten or suppose tungsten filament or molybdenum. Already the that is production part, made up of what there is a target consists of. So see the graph plotted between the relative intensity and wavelength lambda. First of all, take tungsten filament. Tungsten filament, this like form means like a continuous spectra. Suppose instead of tungsten filament, replacing like an molybdenum. So the same for Let us consider the 35 kilovolt. The X-ray spectra is giving like that. There is a continuous spectra. At the same potential is giving to the molybdenum. So this target is now is assuming molybdenum. So the applied the potential difference between cathode and anode is 35 kilovolt. See, what is the difference between the continuous and characteristic is this initial wavelength is same. There is a cutoff wavelength. So this also producing forming the X-ray spectrum initially is same, but some of the place some peaks are there like that. This is a tungsten. This is a molybdenum metal. That is the peaks or characteristics of the material of the target. So that is called characteristic spectrum. Continuous means, listen very carefully, continuous means for a given accelerating voltage, the lower limit of the wavelength of all continuous X-ray spectra in same for all the target. That is, it has a range of frequency is equal. There is no peaks are there. Suppose peak, that is characteristic spectra means the intensity of X-rays are increased at certain, that is some place it is well defined, like a peaks are there, more having well defined wavelength. This type is called like an characteristic spectra, that is the peaks or characteristics of the material of the target, that is called characteristic spectra. This is depending upon the materials only. So this also two types, very important, study it.